Okie dokie, now we're going to share with you 10 reasons why people don't buy from Azure Standard. Stick around, because it's good. Take it away.
Okay, so number one is...
Not number one.
Number one is not knowing how it works. Some of the reasons that we got from people why they didn't start buying from Azure is because it's new, it's scary, it's totally different than how they're used to grocery shopping.
Yeah, going to the store and picking things up.
It's a total unknown. What I have to say about that is that there are so many resources on YouTube that tell you how Azure works. I don't think we've actually done like
an actual how-to.
Official. Maybe we need to do that one of these days.
Possibly, but of all the resources that are out there on YouTube about Azure, this place is the best. So just don't go anywhere.
Unless they need to know how it works.
Number two is concerned about the unknown, because when you don't know something, you're usually scared about it and you just defer.
So people are afraid that they're not sure what they're gonna get. It's hard. Sometimes how many times have I ordered something on Amazon and I think I'm gonna get something that's like this and it ends up being like this big. So people are afraid. When you're talking about a 8 ounces of something, sometimes if you just don't know, you don't know if you need
you don't know what you don't know till you know
half of one or if you need 12 of them. And so, because I don't think a lot of people necessarily pay attention. I didn't until I started doing more of my shopping online.
Right, and then also the unknown of the quality of what you're getting. Either it's a new product to you, or if it's like fruit or produce or cheese or chicken or any of that. Not knowing about what the quality is going to be is absolutely terrifying, especially when you're talking about investing money.
So what we have to say about that is, number one, watch Azure hauls, because that'll make you be able to see the product in people's hands to see exactly what you're going to get and how they use it.
But if you want to watch any Azure hauls, you should watch ours because they're the best.
You go in the pool? And then regarding the quality of products, if we're talking about produce and it's something that might be bad, Azure has an amazing customer service department, and I've never had an issue with them refunding me for anything that was not
satisfactory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're great. You just send them an email, give them a call, and they refund your order, and you don't have to pay for it.
Number 3 is going to be the schedule.
Okay, so first off, yes, there is an unknown delivery time. You do not know when your order is going to be delivered until the Friday, at least for us it's Friday, before the week of the drop. You also have a risk of a change in your delivery time. Every once in a while, things happen, the delivery truck gets delayed, things happen, and that order time gets pushed out. People are worried about not making it to the drop-in time and what happens then. People are worried about not having any flexibility with their work schedule. And I know most of you out there simply have a busy schedule that makes it difficult to squeeze in time to go pick up your delivery at whatever point in time that it decides to show up. What do you have to say about it? You said you had something to say about it.
So, the one thing I was going to say is we run our life on a 4-week schedule, so that we know that our D week is the delivery week for Azure.
So anything that gets scheduled that week needs to be flexible and able to move around.
What she just said. Okay.
That's when we like to go see our chiropractor, Corey, who has a walk-in schedule, because we can show up whenever we want. So it's perfect. But I'm also going to say that we run our drop a bit different, and we actually allow our drop members to pick up whenever they want. So we hold their order and they get to schedule. We do have an open pickup time, and then they have the option to schedule a time that is more convenient for them. So first off, I would check with your drop coordinator to see if they offer something like that. Number 2, if they don't, encourage them to do so, because I think that it makes Azure available to so many more people.
Yeah.
Number 3 would be to ask them, or if you know anyone else who's getting Azure, if they're willing to pick up for you, or if your drop coordinator is just able to make an exception for you specifically, because most of us care about good food and we care about supporting Azure, and so we're willing to go above and beyond to make sure that you're able to get Azure as well. Number 4 is pickup logistics. The idea of meeting the truck and helping unload and doing all that, to some people sounds both scary and inconvenient. A lot of people tell us that they're afraid to go to the pickup because they have young kids and they're worried that they're trying to wrangle their kids and they're not going to be able to help unload. Some other people have physical reasons why they can't help unload the truck. And I want you to just throw all these out the window, because even if you have to meet the truck, like you don't at our job, but even if you have to meet the truck, the people there will do whatever you need. If you need somebody to carry stuff to your vehicle, I can almost guarantee that this is not going to be a problem. Having kids with you is not a problem. Many of the Azure customers have kids, have young kids. Everybody's understanding and works together.
All right, number 5 is going to be any of the inconveniences that come along with ordering from Azure. Not knowing what's going to ship, it only coming once a month, because sometimes people don't plan for an entire month of groceries, like us sometimes, if I'm being honest. And then something that is a reoccurring thing these days is an item or items being out of stock.
Which kind of goes with that, you're not knowing what's going to ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a number of solutions to help deal with all of these. Number 1 is to keep things on stock so that you don't have to worry about something being out of stock for a month.
Christy really likes saying on stock. I don't know what this is. It's in stock.
In stock.
Okay.
Keep it in your home. Keep at least a month or 2 worth.
3 or 4 for 12. A year. Year's even better.
So number 2 is to have backup options. And that's something where if something says it's not going to ship, I always just prepare for that.
Yep.
And have a plan to either change my meal plan or buy it somewhere else.
Yeah, or the butter situation. The unsalted butter was showing up as out of stock, so we bought salted butter.
Yes. So there's definitely ways to work around this. It might take a little bit more mental capacity. It might be a little bit of an inconvenience. I can't make it disappear altogether, but I'm just going to say that it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, number 6 is that there is not a drop location either near you or anywhere near you.
Yeah.
Like literally,
you live out in like Africa or something.
like impossible. Yeah. No, I don't have a solution for Africa. But so number 1, if you want to just try a few things from Azure, if they're smaller, Azure does ship
directly, so
you can get it sent to your door. But number 2, I'm going to suggest that you just start a drop point, because it's well worth it.
Very.
And usually, depending on how far away it is from another drop, ours was like a $500 minimum for them to stop in our area. And if you convert, I guess if you've got a decent sized family and you convert your grocery budget, it is very easy to spend $500 at Azure and just meet that drop point. But then when you start, you don't even have to market yourself. I've actually never advertised our drop locally. Bad Azure drop coordinator. But Azure will put your drop on the map, and I can almost guarantee that there are going to be people in your area that are going to sign up and be excited to come get Azure from your drop.
Can't tell you how many times people have come here and been like, they looked it up and they're like, hot dog, it's 5 minutes from my house. Ching. So, let's move on to number 7. Number 7, now that I looked at the sheet because I couldn't remember, is afraid of wasting items. How many of you have thrown away something because you didn't take care of it in time? I'm going to raise a hand for all of us. Okay, there's so many things you can get from Azure, but not being able to store it properly or use it in a timely manner, that can be a problem, especially when you buy things in bulk.
And this also goes for things like the produce. With the produce, it takes a little bit more effort to actually preserve it when you buy it in bulk. And we've got a lot of videos where we talk about how we preserve things.
In fact, that was an Azure quick tip.
Fermenting and canning and freezing and dehydrating.
Or just eating.
Or just eating in mass quantities.
Yes.
Those all work. Okay, number 8 is price.
Ugh.
Sometimes people believe that the Azure pricing is too high.
Yeah.
And if you are only buying smaller amounts of things, this is something that kind of, honestly, it's really hard to say. I've gone back and forth where it's totally random if something is going to be more or less at the grocery store. You do just have to check. So that is another inconvenience that you have to kind of keep an eye out and check to see if it's better to buy at the grocery store or from Azure. Now, be sure to remember if you're comparing apples to apples, because most of what Azure does sell is that organic, natural, higher quality type items that you either are going to pay more for at the grocery store or cannot even find at the grocery store in some places.
Yeah.
Now, with that also, some people are not able to buy in large quantities, because what we have found is that if you're going to buy in the larger or largest quantity from Azure, it's generally always going to be cheaper than what you can find elsewhere. But if you're not able to buy in larger quantities, then that kind of cancels that out.
Yeah.
So, number 1, make sure you sign up for the grocery guidebook and you'll receive access to our grocery compare price sheet, where we actually go through and compare prices from Azure to Costco and other grocery stores. We also, throughout our videos, talk about ways for you to start buying more in bulk, where you can do so in a more gradual way, where you pick one thing a month that you're going to buy more of, so that then you don't have to buy it the next month and then you pick something else and it frees up your budget there. And it's kind of like that snowball method that Dave Ramsey talks about all the time.
But in the reverse order of spending money.
Yes.
All right, numero 9 is going to be getting overwhelmed. So overwhelmed, you are paralyzed by overwhelmingness, because there's so many different items you can buy from Azure. They have like 300 million SKUs. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Azure, for offering the variety of products. But sometimes people just don't even know where to start. So we say, start with what we get, because what we get's the best. Cheese, eggs. I'm excited to get eggs.
Sour cream.
Soft
white wheat.
cream cheese, kiwi. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Okay, in all realness, we actually just did a video on this, and I'm going to include it below. It says how to buy more from Azure Standard. And we'll talk about how to get over the overwhelm and deal with that, because a lot of people come to Azure because they find like chicken feed or something, and then
or a weird item.
They just continue to just buy chicken feed, and I think it's because it's so overwhelming. All right, number 10 is they just don't know that it exists.
Mind blowing.
And to that, I say,
we say we have a crying baby in the background.
And to that, I say, go tell your friends about Azure. They have a referral program. If you use your referral link, you'll get, I think it's like $25 for every person that ends up placing an order with Azure. We'll include our referral link down below, but I think that everybody who watches our videos are already Azure customers.
All right, it's time to get back to the action.